Hello, everybody. It's Graham Cove with another My Music. Now, I'm going to be talking either to Chris or the rubber plant behind him. Can't decide yet. You make up your mind whilst we play this.
I need to get going, Mel. See you later.
Tell you what, Chris, you can't knock it talking to plants because the now King of England, he used to do that apparently.
Oh yeah, you know what? When you said that, then I thought I've heard that before. Actually, I mean, I normally just talk to myself, but I guess that kind of kills two birds with one stone, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good thing to do. I think when you're out in nature, it's lovely. Talk to the things around you. Other people think you're mad when you're doing it, but there you go. So
well, we're all a little bit mad, aren't we?
Wow. Talking about mad. Are you mad for doing it? But you've just shaved your head. You said.
Yeah. Well, actually, I mean, I'm pretty much bald anyway. So I was
right.
Let's say I shaved the sides and the back. It was due its annual. I say annual. It's weekly at the minute. I think with a bit of sunshine we've had, it just seems to. Side afro going on here. So I thought. I mean, to be honest, I didn't realise the camera would be on, but I thought, got to look.
But seeing as the camera's on, get the hair shaved. So
I must have known.
You must have known. There you go. I won't play this particular interview to my wife because she's fascinated by bald heads.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's never touched one, and she. It's an interesting fact, right? But I've never really had this. Come to pass, but she's always been like, we've been sitting there watching something on TV and someone's got a really, really nice bald head, and she's like, I wonder what that feels like.
It's quite nice.
Is it?
There's that sort of I mean, I used to bick it, with a razor. I can't be bothered now, I've not got the time, but there's that sweet spot when you've done that and then you give it a day and it just starts to grow through that teeny whiny little bit, and then just, that's the one. You've got a little. If she's gonna do it and go for it, you've got to get that sweet spot. I think wait till someone's bicked it and then come in just a day after, 24 hours later. That's the one.
Well, it's a shame that you don't get kind of like a little gradient come up on someone's head then that says this is right now. This is
yeah. Or you just wear a t-shirt with an arrow pointing up on your back that's saying ready to touch.
Yeah.
Hey, there's some merch for you.
Hey, that's merch for a band, isn't it? Tell me about Spin Klass, my friend. How did this start?
We're pretty new, to be honest. I mean, we've as a trio, the three of us have been in bands together for donkey's years. Spin Klass was a new thing that we started during the lockdown, funnily enough. So we were the band we were in previously was called Heavy on the Magic, and we were together about 5 years. We did the circuit, played a lot of festivals. Gets to 5 years, a couple of band members end up going. One went off to do a uni degree or something, like a late uni degree. I mean, we're all about early 30s. No, he's a structural engineer now.
Wow.
So fair play to him.
What did he do in the band?
Bass player, yeah. Okay. Sturdy.
So if you walk past any building, you see like bass struts,
Yeah, and he's dead tall as well. He looks like a building, so he suits being a structural engineer thing, But yeah, so during lockdown, I thought, you know what, this might be the first time in my life where I've got a bit of time where I'm not playing in a band, and I was like, I'm cool with that. I'm early 30s now. I'm happy with that. I'm not bothered, But lo and behold, we were writing, recording tunes, sending them to each other. And because we've all got I used to work at a recording studio, so I've got like a little setup at home and stuff. Kieran, who writes a lot of the tunes with us as well, he's got like a synth and setup at home. So before we knew it, we had like about 20 tunes demoed.
Wow.
Before we'd even done a show. So we whittled them down to about 8. And we sent them off to a mate of mine to mix, and we just put them out as an album or an EP along. I don't know if it's 8 tracks. Classic.
Who knows what it is these days? Is it an album? Is it an EP? Is it
Yeah,
that's an interesting thing. If anyone would like to clarify that, when does an EP become an album?
Yeah, because I always had EP down as like 4 or 5 tracks, but I don't know, 8 tracks anyway. Maybe we're just breaking the mold here with that.
Oh, it's the mini album, isn't it?
Mini album, yeah.
Mini album, yeah.
So we just stuck it out. So we just made a little logo and just banged it out there, and then we've not even done a show by that point. We thought, you know what? Yeah, we're doing things the opposite way around here, but we're not bothered. We weren't bothered. Yeah, there's so many rules nowadays of how you're meant to do things. You know, like even when you're releasing a single, like you're meant to be following all these step-by-step guides, blah blah blah. We just can't be bothered. So
Who
we just
wrote
thought. I think it's just a load of rubbish, to be honest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, nowadays, you just post something online and you either get lucky and people see it, or it gets washed amidst pictures of sausage dogs and whatever. And I don't know,
sausage dogs.
Yeah,
who would do that?
Lives. Sausage dogs ruined our lives. Have you got a sausage dog?
Yeah.
I mean,
not only do we have a sausage dog, we actually have an Instagram account just for the sausage dog.
Graham, that is exactly my point then, because to be honest, I'd probably rather be watching videos of sausage dogs.
Right.
Myself, because who doesn't? So this is what you're competing with nowadays.
Well, we do actually make videos here as well. We've got video kit and we make videos. So maybe what you need is when Spin Klass, want a video, is we could put sausage dog in it. It could just be 3.5 minutes of sausage dog. With our music
over the top, then we've sorted, aren't we?
Yeah.
Right, happy days.
Did you see? Do you see what we've done there? You see, that's brilliant.
It's like a power meeting. This, it's fresh. It's early in the morning. We're just vibing, aren't we? It's like a big corporate business meeting we're having here. I like it.
Well, I was sent a track by your record company. I don't know whether you want to give them a little push, or actually, is it a record company? It's your press people, Pufferfish.
Yeah, they were brilliant.
Yeah, which is a great name, isn't it? Pufferfish, love that. Yeah.
I'll be honest as well, this is the first time in ages we've actually used like a PR company, if you like, because we've just we've been very DIY, and we still are, and the Pufferfish are a small independent company that have a love for music. It's not just about the numbers for them. They don't just churn out any old tune. So that's what we thought. You know what? We feel the songs are at a point now where we could do with that extra helping hand just to get them out to people like yourselves that probably wouldn't have heard it if they hadn't have sent it out.
Well, it's great. It's great that happens and it works. So the one that came through was Slow Loris.
Yeah,
love that. I must admit, the first time I heard it, right, because I was so impatient and I listened to it before I'd even read the press release thing, right, which I think probably a lot of people do, right?
It's the animal. I think we're going back to the sausage dogs here because it has a little picture of a Slow Loris on it, and I reckon that's just drawn you in. I think the cuteness has drawn you in.
The cuteness came in, but I must admit, the first time I was like, is this Slow Norris? Because I used to know a guy called Norris who was incredibly slow. And you know how your brain just triggers you to a memory. And I was thinking, and actually Slow Norris is what I've always called people who are a little bit.
We call it Slow Norris in when we rehearse.
Did you?
And it's been shortened now to Slow Nozzer.
Slow
Nozzer from Slow Loris, Slow Norris, Slow Nozzer, yeah.
There you go. You see?
Or Sloznoz.
So you knew Norris as well then?
Well, we all watch Coronation Street, don't we?
We all watch that, don't we?
So stalwart of the street, isn't he, Norris?
Ah, that's what it is. So yeah, tell me about it. Where did the inspiration come for that? Because it's a brilliant track. So
Slow Loris is it's a shame he's not here today, but so Kieran, our keys player, Slow Loris is like I can only describe it as inside of his mind, inside of his head. He's got a brilliant mind, Kieran. And when he writes tunes, whatever's going on in his head just seems to just fall out. And Slow Loris is that prime example. It's colourful. It's bonkers. It's about obviously the animals. Slow Loris, they're very exotic sort of strange creatures, aren't they? They don't look real. They've got like these massive big eyes. But it's also a deadly computer virus as well.
Is it?
So there's that nice sort of, not to get arty-farty on you, because we're definitely not arty-farty, but there's that sort of juxtaposition, a big word.
Juxtaposition's a great word to
I'm
get
trying
out
to get
this time in the morning. Look at
Yeah.
that. It's for people that don't know, this has been recorded at 9:15. 9:15, he's come out with juxtaposition. In a minute, he'll come out with paradox, ethereal, you know.
Hey, don't know what they are, but yeah, it's that juxtaposition in it of sort of a cute little sweet little animal that looks beautiful, and then you've got this deadly computer virus that literally, if you get it, that's it, game over, you know. So yeah, and it's kind of about it's about that really.
But then that's the thing about computer viruses as well, isn't it? They're just sitting there waiting,
ready to pounce.
Ready.
I might get one now after this for you. You know what I'm saying?
Who knows? Who knows? But the other thing about this tune that immediately kind of grabbed is because, like all great pop songs, because this is a great pop song, right? Like all great pop songs, it's got a bit where you don't need to know the words.
Yeah, the do bit. Yeah,
the do bit. Yeah.
Well, it's funny we were doing that in the studio because that wasn't part of the track. So basically, when we write first. We demo first, and then we start messing around with it live because there's only 3 of us in the band, so it's that easy. Then we'll take it into a studio in a place called Wigan. Good for pies in Wigan as well, just lovely. So you know. But
Pucker.
Yeah, I can't remember what they've got a brand of pie in Wigan that's just really good. Anyway,
Wigan pies.
Yeah, and then we take it in there, and then there's the producer Gaz, he's amazing, and he does what a producer should do. He sort of hears hook lines and hears things that we necessarily might miss. The do's was part of that. He was you know what? He was like, we're missing a do in this bit, and we were like,
what?
You're right. No, we were like, you're 100%.
Oh right,
yeah. So we just lobbed it in and stuck a few harmonies in there, and we're laughing.
Yeah. And then afterwards, when you hear it back, it's like, yeah, do you know what? When we play that live, everybody's because that's brilliant, isn't it?
Well, we've not really got a chorus. There's no chorus in that tune.
Well, but then
other than the do-do-dos, which is kind of like the chorus, I suppose.
And there's a few bands that I'm hearing do that lately, and I think do that really effectively. Because actually, in a way, when you say it hasn't got a chorus, I think it has got a chorus. I think it's got choruses. I think there are bits of it you can sing along to, and that's. I mean, one band that I've been to see live recently, and I felt that they do this really well, is Lottery Winners. Have you seen the Lottery Winners?
I'm good friends with them. Know them really well. Yeah, really well.
And they've got a few songs where there's not necessarily a chorus, but there's the bit where you can just do your do.
Yeah, and just make your own chorus over the music.
Exactly,
suppose, isn't it? Funnily enough, we've got quite a lot of songs that don't seem to have choruses, and we've only realised this recently. We've not really stopped to think about it, and then, but yeah, I mean, again, just do what you do.
I don't think you need that. I don't think you need. I think it's a bit old hat, really, just having past verse, chorus, middle, late, verse, chorus, end.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of because the other thing as well is that we live in all seriousness, we live in soundbite era.
Yeah.
Right. So ultimately, if you want to get your track, you know, played on little things like films or adverts or whatever, and actually then it stick in people's heads, do you need a chorus? Because actually sometimes a chorus in a song needs a little bit of time to play out.
Yeah,
right. You know, and as like, you know, soundbite stuff gets smaller and smaller and smaller. It's a good point, isn't it? I've only just thought of this point, by the way. But as it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, is there actually time for a chorus? Do you see what I mean? Whereas a do bit,
we've all got time for that, haven't we?
We've all got time for that. So, you know, it's like, okay, so the car's coming out over the mountains. It's just coming around the corner. It's a fun car, right? Because this is a fun track, right? It's one of those Citroens with the rubber bits on the side. Because I've never understood that. Why do you need a car with rubber bits on the side? Is it because you're really bad at driving? Anyway.
Yeah, but do you know them Citroens though? Apparently they're the safest cars in the world. Or something.
Well, there you go. Because you just bounce off, right?
The rubber must be to do with the rubber, mustn't it? Yeah.
Perhaps that's what all cars need. Is they just need to be made of rubber, or or the balloons on the side would be great, wouldn't it?
That'd be good. Yeah,
you know, that would look great. But anyway, this car is coming down the corner or whatever. There's lots of fun graphics happening or whatever, and then there you are, a little bit of Spin Klass, and there you go, and that's the bit, because it's a 30-second ad. You haven't got time for the chorus in there.
Well, this is where the money is nowadays, adverts as well, isn't it? So maybe they'll, if anyone's watching, maybe they'll be curious to hear the do bit. And it's, sometimes I think as well as the generations are moving on, the less words the better sometimes, isn't it? Because people there's not always necessarily the brain capacity to take in whatever the singers are saying. So if you just stick a few do-do-dos, it's less thinking time and more enjoying time, isn't it?
Absolutely. Goodness knows where prog rock goes with that in the future. But going back to, I was thinking earlier when we were saying like 8 tracks is a mini album, but there are some prog rock bands out there, and I love prog rock, don't get me wrong, but there's some prog rock bands out there where 8 tracks is 4 sides of vinyl.
To be honest,
go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, and vinyl costs that bloody much to print these days that you just need very, very short songs, don't you? Or you're not, or a very short vinyl run.
Yeah. In fact, what they need to do is to actually make that sticker bit in the middle of the vinyl a bit bigger.
Yeah.
So you can get a bigger picture in there, and actually, like, this bit of the vinyl's got the songs on, and just truncate the song so it's like. I mean, actually, imagine if people listen to songs on vinyl like they listen to songs on Spotify. It would just be like, put the needle on, it's like, oh yeah, that album's great.
Well, I think we'd struggle because we've been going through a load of new tunes, and then there's loads of longer ones we've got for some reason. I don't know, maybe we're aging like a fine wine, and our songs are just becoming a little bit longer, but some of them are like 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes, and I'm like sat there to the lads going, we're going to need to cut this down, aren't we? I'm like, do people even listen past 3 minutes? But I don't know.
And have you taken any of this live yet? Spin Klass live?
Oh yeah. So basically, we've not stopped gigging now since we put that first release out, that first 8-track sort of demo, EP, mini album, whatever it is. As soon as that came out and it started getting a load of streams, it got about, before we'd even gigged it, had about 5,000 streams, which was pretty good, but I guess people were just stuck at home, weren't they? So I guess no one had out better to do than listen to our thing. But we've not stopped gigging since. So we've been doing, we've always got a habit of when we play Manchester, because that's where we're from, we just hire a venue and do it ourselves, like a smallish venue, pack it out. So each one of them we've done is always sold out, which has built a bit of the momentum. And then we started getting out a little bit, just branching out of Manchester and stuff. So yeah, it feels like every week at the minute we're gigging and playing somewhere, which is good.
That's good. So, and when you play live, when you do this live, do the songs get even longer?
Well, no, here's the problem, right? Because we don't have a live drummer.
Right.
So basically,
so it's a drum machine.
Yeah, so it's machines, samples. So basically, whatever we program it to, ready for that set, that's kind of at the minute what we're stuck to.
Oh,
do you get me? So
yeah, but I'm going to bring you back to the do bit.
Okay, yeah.
So what you can do is you could program it so that foot pedal to stop the drum machine, whatever. Yeah. So when you get to the do bit, that's crowd participation time. Yeah, and that could just go on for like 10 minutes, and then back into the rest of the song, finish it.
Hey, we're sorted.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite nice in a way.
That's how to elongate a gig when you need to.
Yeah, well, it's weird because we can't we kind of can't just jam, if you like, when we're live now, because it's sort of everything's kind of set out and planned, and which is nice in a way because we know exactly what's going on. I mean, we've been, like I say, since I left school, me and Kieran, the keys player, we went to school together. When we were in school at 15, so 15 years ago, we got a gig with our first band supporting the Spiral Carpets.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. And we did a few dates with them because we played this Battle of the Bands, and they really liked the singer, Tom Ingley, was on the judging panel, really liked us, asked us to support him. So ever since that moment, we've never stopped gigging. So we were coming into school into year 10, year 11 the next day, and we just played the Manchester Academy with like in Spirals,
Wow.
or like the Home for Picture Dome or wherever it might have been. We've been gigging, and we've always had drummers. We've always played in bands where we've always, my favorite band's The Clash, and I'm well into, my punk and my new wave and stuff. And we've always been a thrashy sort of off the cuff, just take it where it goes sort of band. So this is why this is so fresh for us now. And I think we needed it because obviously, you know what drummers are like? Drummers are mental. So all our drummers,
yeah, but they take a long time to set up, don't they?
Well, either that or you end up carrying all the stuff for them, saying it.
Absolutely. So, I mean, the advantage of what you're doing now is like, you don't take up quite so much stage space, right? Fair comment.
Yeah.
And there's no drum kit set up, which makes you're in a really good position to be a support band as well.
Well, we found we've been getting some really good support gigs recently with bands that we probably wouldn't have got.
You ain't got a drummer. Whoops, drummers.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know what it's like when you do these shows. We've done them in the past, and the bigger artists don't want you going anywhere near their kit. It's set from sound check. It's like, so then you're either bringing your own kit on and squeezing it on in front of theirs. Yeah. Then you're messing with all the stage setup, and it's just a nightmare. For us now, it's such a breath of fresh air because we just walk on. There's only 3 of us. We just set out, plug in. We've got a few more wires, and then but it's great. And then the bands are buzzing because we're not touching anything of theirs, So actually, we probably get a really good tour support at some point soon because again, it cost them nothing to take us along with them because there's only 3. But we all fit in one car. It's great.
It's great as well, isn't it?
We all go in my car. I drive. I don't drink anymore, me. So I'm always happy to drive. So
how long have you not been drinking?
When the last band split up about 7 years ago. So when I was about 25. What am I now? 30. I'm coming up to 32. Yeah, so about 25. I just packed it in when that band split up, and planned to just do a bit of a year off or however long I was not going to be gigging.
Yeah, but you just didn't miss it.
I just carried it on, and it's been like 7-8 years now. So
it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. No, I gave up in March.
Right. Nice.
I just went. No, I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah. You're feeling that buzz. I just had a bit of a buzz for a while. I don't know, just no hangovers. It's
no hangovers. No need to break into the packet of tablets in the morning. No alpha seltzers.
What I have found though is I don't know if your body just eventually just finds other things to replace that with. So I can't even eat a multi-pack of knickknacks anymore without getting hangover the next day. You know what I mean? Like too much MSG or something like that. It's like my body's like, right, well, if you're not going to feel crap for not drinking, then I'm going to make you feel crap for
something. Yeah, your body finds a way of making you feel bad about something or other. Absolutely.
Yeah. But for gigging, it's great because we can just go anywhere, jump in the car, 3 of us, fit everything in the back, and we can play anywhere, keeps costs down, and it's opens up a load of doors for us.
Well, now I keep mentioning it on these things at the moment because it's the book I'm reading at the moment. I'm not going to make any bones about it. I'm a big believer in music books by musicians being self-help books, right? I went to my network event this week, and they were saying, "Oh, we've now got a little section on the website where you can upload the best business books that you're reading at the moment, so we can all kind of share in that." And I go, I don't read business books because I just find business books just so dull. All right. Yeah, absolutely. So the only books that I've ever read over the last, I don't know how many years, are autobiographies or biographies by musicians. And I categorically believe that they are the best business books you can read, right? Because these people have lived, right? And their experience, that what they tell you, not just about music, but just about business and how to negotiate and life and, work in general. Brilliant. At the moment, I'm reading David Byrne's book.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. How Music Works. Fascinating book, my friend. Absolutely fascinating book.
I'll have to get that, actually. 100%.
It's so, and he just dissects music in terms of how it works. Whatever. Now, it's interesting because he talks about when, what they did with Talking Heads, different tours and whatever, and then how that, how having different dynamics in the band at certain points, and then when he went solo, having different dynamics then could allow him to look at things in terms of the performance. And if you read it, what you'll get from that is, now that you've got no drummer, and it's really compact, and you're kind of, you're constricted in a way by the formula. Is here what he would probably say is, but what you can do is you can add to that, right? So he would say stuff like, well, you could probably add things like dance or other things, because it's very difficult to choreograph anything else to music when you don't know what the music's going to do.
Definitely. And the drummer can be speeding up, slowing down and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Well. When you do know what the music's going to do, you can actually then so you can actually add elements to it, which just an interesting idea.
No, it's funny you should say that, because obviously Stop Making Sense is one of the favorite things that I've ever seen in my life, on as a DVD or obviously I've not been watching it, I'm not old enough to have been there myself, but it's all about that stage show, and David Byrne is amazing, and he's probably Talking Heads are probably one of our biggest influences. But it's because it's a show. It's not just. I mean, the band are amazing, but we've always said we'd love to, when we get a bigger show, we'd love to have percussionists in with us, and so not necessarily a drummer as such, because we like our electronic beats and the things that we program for that, but to have like a percussionist, and to have, like you say, like a show, whether it be like dancers or just something to make that music turn into a
spectacle.
Yeah. And that's that is definitely, like, obviously at the minute we're not quite not getting ideas above our station, but that is somewhere we would like to take it. Get
the book, read it. It's a fascinating read. Even stuff like lights. He talks about the lights within that show, etc. But again, if you know exactly what's going to happen, then you can do clever things with lights, because you can have a light come on at a particular moment, because you know that moment's going to happen. In fact, these days you can even trigger a light from sound. So,
well, they say that, don't they? It's like the sound engineer. Obviously, having your own sound engineer that knows your sounds, like, it's so important. But having a lighting engineer that can make your sound, to just take it to that next level, doesn't it? That's what it's all about, I suppose.
Absolutely. So now we get to the really important part of the interview, which is where you tell people where they can go and listen to the music that we've been talking about, because by now they are so, this sounds brilliant. I want to know what Spin Klass listen like or sound like, and I really want to go and listen to that. So where do people go and get it?
Anywhere, Spotify, Apple Music's all on there. We're not one for trying to generate money through streams. We know we're not asked about that. So anywhere, but I have a Spotify account, so I use Spotify. That's my protocol. I'd just be straight on Spotify. But Apple Music, the usual.
I'm going to give you my piece of advice, which I've given so many multiple musicians through this medium, which is get a t-shirt done. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, but get a t-shirt done. I'm waiting to see loads of these out there, because so many musicians have gone, yeah, that's a brilliant. I'm going to actually go and do that. Get a t-shirt done with, graphic on the front or whatever, and then on the back it says, I listen to Spin Klass on Spotify. Yeah, because then you're kind of promoting, in this generation, you're promoting the fact that these people, right, listen to your music with that, right? But then at the bottom it says, but I bought the t-shirt.
Yes.
See?
Yeah, I like that.
Because ultimately the currency can become the t-shirt rather than the music. If the music is virtually being given away for free, people can buy the t-shirt instead. Just think about how in Spiral Carpets did that, right?
What, with the milk or whatever?
With the cow.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they had milk. They had milk delivered, didn't they, to people's houses that had their logo on.
Absolutely. But do you know what that must have been? That t-shirt must have been one of the best-selling t-shirts of the time. Must have been. I'd love to see the figures for it, but I can't remember just how many people came into school at the time with that cow on.
Yeah, no, it was a stroke of genius, wasn't it?
It was a stroke of genius, but you see, ultimately, that became part of the currency of the band.
Yeah.
You know, if I mean, at the time people bought records as well, so they were double lucky, right? But you know, but the thing is, you know, if someone can give you 20 quid for a t-shirt and you can make a little bit of money on it, you might make as much money on that as you can make on an album, right?
Well, yeah.
So it, you know, ultimately, there's my, you know, marketing head on. I'm like, well, buy the t-shirt, have the music, have it on whatever you want it.
Definitely.
Doesn't matter. But come to the show, buy the ticket, buy the t-shirt. Thank you very much.
Just back to that Spiral thing quickly, though, just so I don't forget. I remember when we played with them when I was 15 and everyone was going moo in the crowd and I thought they were being booed and it was the moo because of the cow.
It's the moo.
Yeah, yeah. And I obviously was too young to really understand that's what they'd done, you know, with the cow thing until I went home and was like Googling or whatever. Why do people moo at the Inspiral carpet? So
we just need to get a Slow Loris t-shirt.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. What noise do they make though?
Doody doo.
Yeah, we've got it.
There you go. So it's a slow Loris, and then just the doody doo bit underneath. And then actually you just get people when they come to, you know, doody doo. They start that before like anything else. You're sorted. There we go. 9:30 in the morning, folks, and Spin Klass have already got their marketing sorted for the next year. There we go. That's the way we roll on this program. Final question, which is where we leave everybody on, which is, if you could work with somebody dead or alive, who would it be?
Well, it'd have to be David Byrne, wouldn't it?
There you go. After that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have probably said that even if you hadn't have mentioned it, to be honest. David Byrne, maybe Mick Jones, purely because obviously the Clash are one of my favourite bands, but where he took that with Big Audio Dynamite, again, with the samples, I mean, they're another massive influence for us. You know, it's got that punk edge, that punk roots to it, but it's using technology as well, and it's sort of taking it to that next stage and making a show out of what you can do with what you've got.
He's stayed very contemporary as well. I mean, the Gorilla stuff, the stuff he's done with Damon Albarn, etc. He's just stayed contemporary.
I would love to work with Mick Jones. It would be, I think it would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I get both of those. David Byrne, Mick Jones. What great choices. Thanks for joining me today to talk a little bit about your music. Loving it. Do tell Joe at Pufferfish any more that you do. Send it through because I do want to hear it. I you know, and folks, go and listen to Slow Loris or Am I Too Crazy?
Got a full EP coming out end of October,
EP, which is called Feral Bop, expected in October. Go and listen to all of it. If from what I've heard so far, it's just tremendous. It's really, really exciting stuff, and you know, it's catchy. I'm afraid I'm going to have to tell you that if you listen to it, you may go around singing doody doo all day long, but you know, that's just the rub that comes with listening to great pop songs. Chris, thanks very much for joining me today.
Amazing. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Bye for now.